Understand and know mass genocide, ethnic cleansing, and children innocently losing their lives, state terror, banning of freedom of press and speech, of disturbing the peace of Muqtadis and worshippers in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa on the 25th night of Ramadan and during the final nights of the blessed month. This is unacceptable and it is uncalled for. As the host mentioned, if this very same incident was to happen at the Vatican in Rome, there would be an outcry from world leaders. If this very same incident, when the peace of a place of worship was disturbed, was to happen at a leading synagogue in Europe, there would be outcry from the world. But we find that unfortunately, these so-called leaders of the free world turn a blind eye. So the choice is ours, whether we want to be on the right side of history or whether we want to be on the wrong side of history. This is why my message is simple and clear. Keep the momentum going. Keep the pressure on. There is growing condemnation of the Zionist Israeli government who are continuing their ethnic cleansing by taking the lives of innocent Palestinians. Some are condemning by signing petitions. Welcome to you. Others are condemning, like we are today, in a peaceful, democratic way, through protests and demonstrations. Welcome to each and every one of you. Whilst others, such as these so-called world leaders, are posting their empty words on social media, each and every one of us has a part to play. Each and every one of us has a right to raise our voice for the voiceless. But as Muslims, we have a greater role. A greater role that Allah Almighty outlines in the Quran when He said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah Almighty says, surely the Almighty does not change the condition of a group of people, does not change the condition of a nation until those people begin to change themselves. And this ties in very nicely with the greater form of struggle and striving, Yani Al-Akbar, which is overcoming our whims and desires and making them subservient to the will of the Almighty and His beloved Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-Mujahidu man jahada nafsahu fi ta'atillah. We need to struggle and strive against our own whims and desires. What can't happen and what we condemn is irresponsible youngsters revving cars, blocking traffic and being a nuisance. We need to be mentally, physically and spiritually prepared so that we can take that step towards the greater struggle. And that will be one day to liberate Al-Masjid. That will be one day to liberate the oppressions that the Palestinians are suffering and to liberate the suffering of all of the Muslims around the world. This is why, my dear brothers and sisters, my message is that we are consistent in our 5 daily prayers. Today's protest, like I'm starting, I will end. I salute each and every one of you. I applaud your efforts. You've sacrificed your time. You've sacrificed your money. You've sacrificed your health by standing in the rain. And you know what my Iman tells me? Allah Almighty Jalla wa Ala is sending down the rain as a sign of acceptance of your being here today. This is Allah's mercy upon us. Allah's mercy upon us. This is why it's important that we understand our role and responsibility. That when we go back to our towns and cities, when we go back to our homes, that we become true practicing Muslims. That we occupy our masajid for the Fajr Salah. Leading Jewish rabbi of Europe In 2010 he said, we do not fear the Muslims. We'll only fear the Muslims when their Salatul Fajr in the masjid is as busy as the Salatul Jumu'ah. This is why the struggle starts from here. The struggle starts within. We can't be irresponsible. We can't be immature. We represent our brothers and sisters who are struggling around the world. How do we represent them? Through our actions, through our akhlaq, through our character and conduct. This is why continue with your daily recitation of the Quran. Send plenty of Durood Sharif upon the Prophet ﷺ, and keep making dua. Ad-du'a silahul mu'min. The dua that we make is a weapon of the believer. This is our iman. I end upon these words. That as Muslims, our loyalty lies to Allah and His Rasul. As Muslims, our loyalty lies to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. And as Muslims, our loyalty, keyword, lies with the Palestinian brothers and sisters. This is why when it comes to the honor of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there is no compromise. And when it comes to the blood of the Palestinians, there is no compromise. We are seeing this movement has started. This movement will only get greater and stronger. I stand outside 10 Downing Street and I outright condemn those individuals who have disrespected our Prophet by drawing cartoons and caricatures about him. I outright condemn those individuals who are playing their part in a bigger game against Islam. My brothers and sisters, our loyalty only lies in Allah and His Rasul. This is why our nara, our slogan, mine and yours, is only one nara and slogan. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Mazani idea. This is the ideal opportunity we talk about that we don't have a right in this country. Each and every one of you has a right now. Nobody stay silent. Each and every one of you take part. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Taj Tarikh Khatm Nabuwwat. If I fall here, that's it. But I will know that I die upon Iman. Each and every one of you respond by saying Zindabad. We don't have any loyalty to the Dushmanan of Islam. Our loyalty lies in Allah and His Rasul. Taj Tarikh Khatm Nabuwwat. Zindabad. Taj Tarikh Khatm Nabuwwat. Taj Tarikh Khatm Nabuwwat. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. Labbaik, Labbaik, Labbaik Ya Rasulullah.
I'll bring us. Hotel there, Pangi.
Zindabad! Zindabad! Palestine! Free! Free! Palestine! Free! Free! Palestine! Free! Free! Palestine! Free! Free! Palestine!
brothers, I'm a Muslim. I may have covered my face. But my skin can't tell you. My skin can't tell you if I'm a Muslim or not. My name can't tell you if I'm a Muslim or not. My heart, my words will tell you that I am a Muslim. But at the same time, and I feel I love Islam. I love my Prophet. There is no deity greater than Allah. I bow between, I bow in front of nobody but His Highness. But let me ask you a question. Seriously, let me ask you a question. Coming in the middle of Downing Street, in the middle of London, if we are going to chant in a language that they don't understand, how are we going to make a difference? How are we going to make a difference? How are we going to make a difference? The language of this country is English. The country is mainly secular. Why can't we use their system to make a difference? Why can't we? When the media, look, let me be honest with you. There was 2 or 3 members of parliament that were to arrive here at this demonstration today. But they have seen some videos that goes against our cause. Do you understand me? They have seen some videos that go against our cause and they fail to turn up. We can come in our millions, but if we don't have our elected members of parliament here, then how the fuck are we going to make a difference? Do you not think that we bleed? Do you not think that we care? Yesterday, there was 150,000 people from Palestine. The majority of them people were non-Muslim. Let me invite the organizer of yesterday, where over 150,000 people came on the streets of London without incident. The entire world reported on it. Gaza spoke about it. Let me invite Friends of Alexa, a member of Friends of Alexa. Brother, forgive me, I've got a really weak memory. I can't remember your name. But let me be honest, we have to make friends to make political difference. And the only way we're going to do that is speak a language that the entire nation can understand. Wallahi, I speak the truth. I do not lie to you. I am telling you the truth. May God strike me with lightning if I am being edited.
Let me get down, you come up.
Speak the truth. May He strike me with lightning right now. If I lie to you, may He strike me with lightning. But I'm telling you, 5% of this population, Muslims, will make no difference to Palestine. They will make no difference to Palestine. I invite the organizer of yesterday's demonstration, Friends of Alexa.
Oh my gosh, Assalamu alaikum. As a Londoner, welcome to London. So I presume, let me just check. Who's from London? Make some noise. Some Londoners, yeah? Who's from Bradford? Make some noise. Welcome. Apologies for my voice. It's gone. It's completely tanked from yesterday. Yesterday it kicked off a little bit. Yeah? There was a lot of passion, and it should be. People are angry. But yesterday was Nakba, 15th of May. Who knows what the Nakba is? The catastrophe. It was 73 years since the Nakba catastrophe, when 750,000 Palestinians were made homeless. They were made refugees when Israel was created. So that is commemorated. But brothers and sisters, the Nakba is continuing. The Nakba is ongoing. It hasn't stopped. The ethnic cleansing is going. A genocide is taking place in Gaza. So what's happening right now? Just a quick rundown. From halfway in Ramadan, we've seen false expulsions, no evictions, false expulsions of people from their homes in Sheikh Jarrah, a place in East Jerusalem. So the Jerusalem District Court ruled that the Palestinians have to leave. But the court is part of the process of occupation. The court is part of the occupation. And the settlers are fully backed by the state. Jane Shaw saying our policy is to take home by home and take over the complete of Jerusalem. This is settler colonialism. This is Palestinians resisting. And then what we see at the same time, we see protests and solidarity taking place. And in Masjid al-Aqsa, we see the Israeli guards and the Israeli security forces storm Masjid al-Aqsa. They come with their feet into Masjid al-Aqsa. They put stun grenades into Masjid al-Aqsa. They shoot in Masjid al-Aqsa to beat peaceful worshippers in Masjid al-Aqsa. So we say, hands up al-Aqsa! Hands up! 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 And then what we see on the final night of Ramadan, we see Israel dropping indiscriminate bombs on Gaza. Now remember, Gaza is under siege by land, air and sea. So Palestinians in Gaza, they can't go anywhere. When the bombs are dropping, there is nowhere to go. There is no shelter. So bombs are dropping indiscriminately on families. Over the last 2 days, I think I've seen 3 families completely gone. Completely killed. A full-on genocide. And yet, we see buildings obviously destroyed, news agencies, schools. The whole destruction of Gaza is taking place. Yes, there were 150,000 people on the streets of London yesterday, but for me, that does not reflect the brutality that we're seeing. So next Saturday, we've called for a national demonstration. A national demonstration when everyone comes on the streets of London to show solidarity with the Palestinian people. Because as one of the brothers said before, when I spoke to people in Gaza yesterday and this morning, they say, we saw you on the streets of London and we knew we are not alone. For that reason alone, I'm imploring every one of you to come back, not just yourselves, with your friends and your families. Come down in your coaches, all of us together to show the Palestinians they are not alone. Are the Palestinians alone? Are they alone? Are we with them? Are we with them? Are we going to come next Saturday? Now, we're outside 10 Downing Street, where Johnson sits. What we need to understand, we need to utilize our power. I think one of the brothers was saying about maybe we're not so powerful, maybe we can be, etc. We are powerful, believe me. Within a week, 170,000 plus emails were sent to MPs, and MPs are telling me, that's part of my role, that their inboxes were flooded by you guys. And they were releasing statements. They were forced to release statements, not because they wanted to, because you made them. Every single one of you here made them. The problem is we only do it every now and then. We don't all do it all the time, right? We apply that pressure, they have to release the statements of condemnation. But let me tell you, it's not time for condemnations. It's time for sanctions on Israel. I want us, sanctions on Israel. Sanctions on Israel. Sanctions on Israel. Sanctions on Israel. I built chanting before I go. Is that the right time? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. In solidarity with the Palestinians in Palestine. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! I'll see you next Saturday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Let me repeat a few words of a father last night. What happened was that my wife and our kids went to our girl's house to celebrate Eid. They wore their newly bought Eid outfits with my innocent children. While they were still in my uncle's house, the house got bombed. They hit the house without any kind of warning. I lost my wife. I thank God that she's in a better place. Our eldest son, Zuhaid, 14. And my son, Abdul Rahman, he's 8. I had one of my kids in the ICU, Osama, he's 5. Almost 6, he's gone now. And I thank God that he's in a better place now. I thank God that he's in a better place now. I'm grateful. I thank God. I thank God. I thank God. I have Omar, 5 months old. I think we should not have to endure the type of racism that we have seen today. Let me tell you what Keir Starmer said, the leader of the opposition. Utterly disgusting. Anti-Semitism, misogyny, and hate have no place in our streets, in our society. There must be consequences. After reading and after telling you about the statement of the father who lost his entire family, what have you lost? What have you lost? The father, after losing his entire family, is praising God. What have you lost? Big man, you're going to go to work tomorrow. You're going to drive your nice car back home. You've heard what the Prime Minister has said. You were hoping that the Prime Minister would say, my support is with the Palestinians. Instead, he's turned around and said that no such space for racism in our society. We were hoping that Keir Starmer would turn around and pledge his support. Instead, he's calling an investigation into anti-Semitism. Rightly so. How can we call the Israeli forces that are massacring Palestinians racist when we ourselves are demonstrating nothing less and nothing more than racism? How? How are you representing Palestinians?
Hello?
How are we to get the voices of Parliament?
Hello?
If this is our behavior and action, if Palestine is gone further, we responsibility. You can't wear Palestinian flags on your faces and hold them and represent them like this. If you lost your family, your entire family, you'll be on fire and you'll do what it takes to get them justice. Do you think you're getting the Palestinians justice? I condemn, wallahi, I condemn all form of racism. I condemn all form of racism. I condemn anti-Semitism. I condemn anti-Semitism. And Boris Johnson can hear this. Keir Starmer can hear this. I condemn anti-Semitism.
10 Downing Street in Westminster. As you can see
behind
behind myself, thousands of protesters have come here. We all stand here, stood here in solidarity of the Palestinians. Alhamdulillah, every one of us has come here. We've sacrificed our time, We sacrificed our wealth and our health as well. As you can see, it's poured down. For hours it's been raining, but it's not budged a single individual from the crowd here. Every one of us is passionate towards the Palestinians. We stand here in solidarity. I know, I confess, and we acknowledge the fact that we can't change much. We know we don't have much say. The elite in power are the ones that will ultimately be the decision makers that can have any influence. But us standing here right now shows solidarity. The people in Gaza watch us. The people in Gaza acknowledge that the Muslims around the world, and particularly the Muslims of the UK, they stand in solidarity with us. You know, there's a video that's been viral recently in which a one of the charity workers, he mentioned that look, the bare minimum that the people of the UK could do is to stand up in solidarity. Over there, it brings hope, brings them life to know that Muslims around the world are supporting them. These are those individuals that have lost loved ones. They've lost their children, they lost their wives, they lost their mothers, somebody's lost their father, someone's lost their beloved sister. They've lost so many, it's endless. But this apartheid, this regime will continue. But the bare minimum we can do for the people of Palestine is raise our voice. It's like the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasallam said, if you see injustice happening, the, there are three categories, the three stages of trying to rectify things. So number one, the best thing you can do is stop them with your hands. We're so far away, we can't stop the Israelis. We can't stop the massacre that's happening physically. The second stage is that you raise your voice at least raise your voice in support of the Palestinians. Today, all of these thousands and those that came yesterday, and around 150,000 of them came, and they flocked here in support of the Palestinians. They're here just to raise their voice. At least that's the bare minimum every Muslim can do. Give your time, give your effort, financially support them. And the bare minimum, even below that, the third stage and the weakest stage is to make dua for them. I reach out to everyone that's watching, everyone that may watch, everyone that this message gets to. Make dua for the Palestinians, support them in your du'as, and reach out to your local MPs, to local councillors, those people in powerful positions within your locality. Speak to them, ask them to write to your MPs. Make this their voice be raised in Parliament. Behind me, Downing Street, that's why the Parliament is. We want all the MPs to raise their voice. This will only build momentum. As momentum builds, there's only the more the opportunity for us to have a possible chance of any change taking place. I salute everyone, all those people here behind me. I salute every one of them. They're here in support. Nobody's here for any financial gain. No one's here for any fame. No one's going to get anything out of this. But they're here in support of the Palestinians. May Allah Ta'ala accept the efforts, the support. No matter where they've come from, they've come from as far as Glasgow. They've come from Bradford. They've come from Halifax. They've come from Manchester. This Naveed Ramadan team has come from Manchester. You go up and down the country from Middlesbrough, Petersburg. You tell me wherever they come from. They've come for the Ummah. They've come for the unity of the Muslims. And that's why we stand here today. Have a look around. They've got their flags. Some are even here without umbrellas. Nothing over them. And they've been stood here in rain. They're absolutely soaked. But every one of them is here only for the Palestinians. And we reach out to the Palestinians, all Ahlul Palestine. We are with you right now. Whether this video gets to you or not, but one day, one of you will listen, will be watching us, will be on this link, and they will see how the Muslims supported you. And in every way, we will always be there for you, and we are one with you. Barakallah. Thank you very much.
Here today, stand shoulder to shoulder with other brothers and sisters of Palestine. Free, free, free. Right. It looks like I'm coming to the host. Next person I'm going to introduce, I think, on the screen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Viewers, I hope you are all well and safe. And Alhamdulillah, as you can see that we are in the protest at the moment. Alhamdulillah, we have a very big gathering today. Just a comment to our leaders today. Our leaders say that if we go into a protest, if we go into war, if we do jihad, we have our rizq our sustenance will stop because the West provides us for money. I want to remind them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. That whoever fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make an exit for him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him sustenance from where he cannot even think. So our leaders need to stand up today. Our brothers and sisters are here today. They're raising their voice. The only thing they can do is they raise their voice. But inshallah, this voice will be heard. This voice will be heard. But our leaders need to wake up. Our leaders are asleep. They're falling asleep. And all of them are asleep. No one is ready to awake and see the actual reality what's happening out there. But inshallah, whoever fears Allah and has the ability to fear Allah like he should be feared, and inshallah, Palestine will be free, and Palestine, inshallah, the Muslims will fight for Palestine. The Muslims will fight for Islam. Our leaders today, I call out to Turkey, I call out to Pakistan, I call out to Indonesia, I call out to Malaysia, I call out to Saudi Arabia, I call out to Yemen, I call out to the whole Muslim world. Wherever you are, however you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you all need to stand up for Islam. Islam is the religion. Look at the jazba. Look at the jazba of the Muslim world today. This is our jazba. The only thing we can provide is the jazba. But without this jazba, the Muslim world is nothing. I make dua, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept what I said. Inshallah, we are going to have Imam Adil Shahzad. Inshallah, he'll be speaking after me, inshallah. So I'd like to invite Imam Adil, inshallah. And after that, inshallah, we'll carry on the program.
With illegal settlements in Palestine, which has been taken off the map. Why is it okay for them to say such statements and such words? We have to be their voice, we have to stand up for them.
Brothers and sisters who are watching from around the world, particularly here in the UK. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Here at this moment in time, I'm outside 10 Downing Street, here in Westminster, London, where brothers and sisters have travelled from around the country.
He was brought to him,
Part of
the
the
body
convoy
of
from
his
Palestine,
son,
demonstrating a peaceful, democratic way against the genocide, mass killing, and the ethnic cleansing by the Zionist terrorist regime of Israel against our innocent Palestinian brothers and sisters who suffer out there, be that in Gaza, be that in West Bank, or be that in Palestine, and in particular those who suffered brutally in the Masjid al-Aqsa.
We have been given this so-called
demonstration here also to condemn the atrocities committed by the Chinese government against the Uyghur Muslims, against the Indian government, against those in Indian occupied Kashmir, and against all those who are oppressing Muslims around the world and those who are oppressing non-Muslims as well. Our message today was clear. We should respect international laws, United Nations laws. Iraq supposedly broke through UN resolution, and the Western world went to war against Saddam Hussein and his regime. Israel has broken over 60 United Nations resolutions, and the world leaders, so-called world leaders of the free world, they are silent. Their condemnation only seems to be mere words. This is why, alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters have come from around the country, and they are standing shoulder to shoulder to raise a voice for the voiceless, and to stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. You can hear that our chant, our slogan has been one: free, free Palestine. Also, our chant and our slogan to unite the Ummah. There's only one chant and slogan, and that is Labbaik Ya Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Zindabad, Zindabad. That is what's going to unite the Ummah again, inshallah. That is what's going to lead
Stand with the Palestinians.
liberate the Muslim Al-Aqsa and to help the Palestinians. The Palestinians themselves are saying Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. The Muslims around the world are saying Labbaik Ya Rasulullah. So no doubt, alhamdulillah,
our iman, our vigilant, Allah and His Rasul come down. Help and assist the Muslims during this difficult and difficult time. And there is a need for unity together on a common
Forget the politics, I said before. We're not politicians, I got mine, right?
Adam of Muslim, his noble companions, his family members, and Awliya Kameen. And you guys watching live and the sound, share this link, voice of the voiceless, as possible.
From the river to the sea. The Palestinians right now, we will hear out the Muslim politicians of the United Kingdom come together. And they want to hear you guys make some Palestinians that have been suffering for so long. They need to hear you guys. Probably all over the news, probably all over social media right now. For whatever reason. But I want you guys right now to speak up to the Palestinians. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Right, my next guest, all the way from Bradford. A speaker, a you guys can be someone who always relates to the wisdom of the youth. You want to come up here, make any takes, many views, many listeners as well. So he's someone who right now, and I'm sure he can take the next thing up to the program as well. Everything from Bradford, the Mama Honey Austin will say. Free, free! Free, free!
Speak for the, and we are there to be a voice of the voiceless. Alhamdulillah. And Alhamdulillah, this is our maqsad and our aim today, to raise awareness for all the brothers
قال الله
and sisters.
تعالى في القرآن الكريم سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Today, thousands have gathered outside of 10 Downing Street, which houses the Prime the United States. We are here to peacefully demonstrate and protest against the war crimes, against the oppression, against the illegal occupation, against the injustices that have been carried out by the state of Israel on the innocent people, the innocent Palestinians. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي ظاهرين على الحق ولعدوهم قاهرين لا يضرهم من خالفهم. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, there shall always remain a group within my nation, my people, who will stand in resilience in the face of injustice, in the face of oppression. Nothing shall harm them as long as they oppose this injustice and oppression. The companions asked, Aynahum ya Rasulullah, where are they? And the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam said, ببيت المقدس وأكناف بيت المقدس, that you will find this group of people. They will be in Jerusalem and they will be in the surrounding areas of Jerusalem. My brothers and sisters, what is happening right now is not the first time that we have seen this. In 2014 in Gaza, over 2,000 Muslims were shaheed after constant day and night bombing upon the innocent people. I've got a question to ask everyone. What has that young child or baby done that
he deserved to be bombed. What did that woman do that she was deserving to be bombed? What have those men done who were earning an innocent living that they deserve to have bombs thrown upon them? If I ask you a question, all of you are standing here for the Palestinians in solidarity with them. We raise our voices for the Palestinian people. This is a nation that has been persecuted, oppressed, where injustice has been taken place against them for the best part of 80 years. When we look at the history of Gaza, which is on the borders of Egypt, Gaza has shrinked over time and now spans over 139 miles squared radius. 139 miles squared radius is what houses 2 million people from the Gazan population. 2 million people live in a small strip. They have no army. They have no air force. The Gazan people don't have on the ground army, nor an air force, nor a navy. Yet only a week ago, the Israeli government ordered 9,000 troops to go onto the borders of Gaza. The Israeli government ordered their fire jets to constantly bomb the innocent people of Gaza. At this current moment in time, 183 shuhada have been recorded. Buildings have been destroyed into rubble. Who is providing this very apartheid government, this very state of terrorism, arms and weapons to fight and bomb these people? The reality is, it's in these powers of corridor, these corridors of power. It is in these corridors of power, those members that we elect in the year 2014 till 2018, the British government supplied 316 million worth of weapons to the Israeli regime. These are weapons that are going to be thrown on whom? Who are they going to bomb? Innocent people who went to pray their salah in Masjid al-Aqsa. It was the 25th night of Ramadan Kareem, possibly Laylatul Qadr. There were tens and hundreds of thousands who lined to worship Allah Almighty on this blessed night. And we see the Israeli soldiers storm, not for the first time. This has happened before, and believe you me, it will happen again. Not for the first time did they storm into Masjid al-Aqsa. There were old men panicking. There were old men, young men, standing in the face of oppression and injustice, zulm. Allah Almighty has ordered mankind to stand against injustice and oppression. It is our duty to exercise our civil rights. It is our duty to exercise our democratic rights, our human rights, to raise our voices for those who are being persecuted, who are being oppressed, and injustice is taking place against them in the state, in the land of Palestine. How would you feel if someone walked into Tenda that you can no longer go there? Mr. Boris Johnson, out. This land and house and house does not belong to you. How would you feel if someone went into your home in Woking, in Oldham, in Birmingham, in Bradford? They walked into your house and they said, This is not your house no more. An illegal apartheid, an illegal settlement where these people are aiming and objecting and trying their very utmost to take out innocent Palestinians, to displace them. At this moment in time, there are 7 million Palestinian refugees around the entire world. 73 years ago to the date yesterday, the Nakba took place. The great catastrophe took place. What was that catastrophe? When the UN were promoting a two-state policy, when the British government remained silent, when the American government remained silent, and we see at that time that these governments that remained silent and these governments allowed the formation and formulation of the state of Israel. At that time, 750,000 Palestinians had to leave their home. This was their father, their grandfather's home. They had every right to that land. When the Ottomans ruled over the state of Palestine, the Jewish community lived in peace. The Christian community lived in peace with the Palestinian Muslims. There were no wars that we heard of. There was no oppression and injustice. When Europe was in its dark ages, Muslim land was the safe haven for the Jewish community. Muslim land was the safe haven for the Christian community. Have you ever been to Palestine? Have you ever walked the streets of Jerusalem? 9 times I have visited Palestine. 9 times in 8 years I have walked on the streets of Jerusalem. I have been in Al-Quds al-Qadim, the old Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa. I had the privilege of praying my prayers in a masjid that one who prays one there, Allah Almighty will reward him equivalent to 1,000 prayers. Allahu Akbar. Ya Rasulullah. One masjid has such power that whoever performs salah in that masjid, it will be equal to the reward of 1,000 prayers. Your local masjid does not offer you that. The way Masjid al-Aqsa, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said about this very masjid, Allah Almighty took the name of the furthest mosque in Al-Quran al-Kareem when He said, pure is he who took his servant in a very small part of the night from Mecca in Saudi Arabia, the Hijazi Peninsula, all the way to Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa, whose surroundings we are blessed. The olive trees are blessed. The water is blessed. And most certainly the people of Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem are blessed. Naat Takbir! Naat Risalah! Masjid al-Aqsa, the first Qibla of the Muslims. For 16 months, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he led the community of the companions, the prayers facing towards Masjid al-Aqsa. Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, it is the second masjid to have ever been built on earth, 40 years after Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. Masjid al-Aqsa is that masjid that Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى 3 مساجد. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, you mustn't travel except to 3 mosques. Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi, Masjid al-Aqsa. Allahu Akbar. Naat Masjid al-Aqsa, the third holiest masjid for the entire Muslim Ummah, for the Muslim nation, for 1.8 billion Muslims around the world. Masjid al-Aqsa is the third holiest masjid for me and you. Yet today, we have forgotten, we have neglected Masjid al-Aqsa. Hundreds of thousands protesting in Sydney, Australia. They see thousands in the streets of Berlin, Germany. They see thousands in the streets of Paris, France. They see thousands in the streets of New York, America. They see thousands, hundreds of thousands, lining up in the streets of central London with one intention, one objective: free Palestine. Free Palestine. All we ask is that you give the Palestinian people the rights that they deserve. They are born in that land, yet they are not given equal rights as any Israeli citizen. If you have been to Masjid al-Aqsa, when you land in Tel Aviv airport, they make Palestinians go one side, make the Israelis go another side. Why this difference? Where's the equal rights got for the Palestinian people? Why can't they have the same education as the Israelis that get there in Tel Aviv University? Why can't they have their own passport? But instead they are given green cards because they're from the West Bank. They're given blue cards because they're from Jerusalem. There's one war. We talk about apartheid. We talk about justice. Who are the same people? When Black Lives Matter movement started, George Floyd was killed mercilessly on the streets of America. Police brutality at its peak. At that time, all the people stood up and said, what is this about black people? Give black people the rights they deserve. Malcolm X, first money, he activisted and he did activist work. All his life that he was assassinated. Then we see the likes of Martin Luther King. Their activist work to give civil rights movements that the black man is equal to the rest of us. He's not believed it. There is no African Anglo slave trade that needs to go on. When it came to that, we all came out in our thousands, hundreds of thousands. Where's the rest of the United Kingdom? When the European Super League was about to be formed by the elite football clubs, all football supporters around the world spoke out and condemned it. Gary Neville spoke out. Rio Ferdinand spoke out. So many of them spoke out. The power of the people was such that the European Super League, every team was guaranteed a minimum of 450 million to join that Super League. But there was so much power within the people that they were able to abolish the Super League. Where's that very same power gone? Amongst our people, it isn't about being a Bangladeshi Muslim. It isn't being a Pathan Muslim. It isn't about a Pakistani Muslim. It isn't about Somalian Muslim. It doesn't matter what race you are. As long as you read the kalima La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, you have every right to stand against injustice, every right to stand up against oppression. It is your duty and obligation upon me and you that we stand in these streets and we protest and demonstrate, and we ask the government that you must stop these arms deals with Israel. We ask the American government, you need to stop sending 3.8 billion worth of donations to the illegal state of Israel. It is our duty to note these facts, to speak about them and educate our people. It ain't about coming out here in our big fancy cars, revving them, causing noise pollution, causing disruption. That's not what Palestine needs. Palestinians don't need our cars to be revved. Palestinians don't need me and you to come out in this rain if we miss our prayers. What is more powerful than raising your hands and asking Allah in the middle of the night? When's the last time you read the Hijjah for the Palestinians? When's the last time you did Qiyamul Layl for the Palestinians? Is there no greater dua? A dua prayer that will never miss its target. A prayer and dua made at the time of the Hijjah, Qiyamul Layl. Yet we're all up in our numbers, and so we should be. But more needs to be done, my brothers and sisters. It is not enough that when Gaza and Al-Aqsa are getting bombed and attacked, that we come out in our tens of thousands. We need to go back to our communities, and we need to summon the members of parliament in our communities. We need to say, what is your foreign policy in relation to Kashmir? What is your foreign policy in relation to Palestine? What will you do for the innocent, oppressed people around the world? You have every right, before you give your vote, to read the constitution of that party that you vote for, the people that you bring into power, that make these decisions. You have every right to study and learn. And if you fear that these people will do injustice against the innocent people that are suffering around the world, be it the black people, be it the farmers in India, be it the Kashmiri Muslims, be it the Palestinian Muslims, be it the Syrian and Yemeni Muslims, how much has this government supplied to the Saudi Arabian government to bomb Muslims in Yemen? It is our duty to understand that we are the people that chose these people to be in power. It is our duty to remove these people. We need to create awareness amongst non-Muslims and make them understand that if someone walked into your house and took your house from you, yet it was registered on the land registry, that time you have every right to that key. You are the rightful legal owner of that property. And all of a sudden, somebody walks in and says, it's time to move. You need to go to another country. You go to Jordan, you go to Egypt. Get out of Bradford and go to Leeds. Get out of London and go to Luton. At that time, would you accept this? Would you say this is right? Never. How can you take what isn't yours? And then the whole world remained silent when the Nakba took place. 700,000 were displaced. 750,000 had nowhere to go. What were we doing at that time? Where was the Muslim world at that time? We have every duty to summon and hold account the Muslim leaders around the world. A simple tweet ain't gonna change the state of this Muslim ummah. We need to wake up, wake our leaders up, wake our nations up, and make them realize that you want to free Palestine, then you must understand what's happened, the injustice that has taken place. You must learn, you must study, you must read the history, and then you need to stand up and speak. For the Prophet ﷺ said that if you see if you see wrong amongst you, then you should stop it with your hands. And if you can't stop it with your hands, then you must speak out against it. And if you can't speak out against it, then you must hate it in your heart. My brothers and sisters, today we have stood here to speak out against this injustice. I want everyone to repeat with me, free, free Palestine. Louder, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine!
Louder,
Free, free!
let them hear you.
Free, free!
I'll tell you something better. We are law-abiding citizens. This is a peaceful protest and demonstration where we speak in favor and in defense of those innocent young children that were born in this past week. It is our duty to raise our voices for those who have no voice to be risen. My brothers and sisters, we have stood out in the rain for the Palestinian people. Do you think Allah Almighty is going to waste your effort? Do you think Allah Almighty is going to waste the money that we spent to come here? No. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you are. The fact that you've got it in your heart to come out and speak for the Palestinian people, but we need to make sure that we're heard. And I'm going to read something, and I want everyone, I want all of the corridors of power to hear that the greatest and most powerful slogan in the entire world is none other than the kalima tayyiba, la ilaha illallah. And I want everyone to read with me, la ilaha illallah, 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 louder, illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah as an ummah. We go back to the sunnah of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. We have neglected the Quran. Salman hoker, khar hue tariq Quran hoker. You know, sits there by the name of Shaykh Saleh al